What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk a little bit about Final Fantasy VII, some sort of Final Fantasy VII for today's show. So it's later on today. I'm going to be watching it, making a video directly after it's done. Remember, it's only 10 minutes. It's going to be a very fast and furious-like thing. We're going to get the info, and they're going to get out, and that's more than okay. So we have the snitch, right, insider_WTF on Twitter, who is so far perfect. He's like every single thing he's ever said on, and this is not an exaggeration, every single thing he's ever said on Twitter has been, confirmed to be true. Now, the way he does it, though, is that it's kind of cryptic almost, right? It's not necessarily 100% set in stone. So last night, this person posted a picture of, as you can see, and there's a couple different ways of interpreting it, right? So you see Aerith, and then you see Zack. And the issue is, and it's not actually, it depends on, I guess, what your definition of issue is. So this is the ending of 7 Remake Part 1, right? But it's also focused on those two characters, which would obviously indicate Crisis Core, okay? So, and then you have him having all the symbols, right? Blue, green, red, black, which would indicate really coming out everywhere: PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and people are assuming black is PC, okay? Which makes, unless there's a fourth mysterious console, right? That seems to make sense that's going to happen. I guess there's actually 3 ways, too, right? It's Crisis Core, it's 7 Remake Part 1, or it's 7, because it's literally the ending of Part 1, or it's Part 2, because it just, but I feel like you could have done a different picture if you were talking about Part 2. And that's what people are kind of, because people are going back and forth just like nonstop. Which one, what is he talking about? Which is the one he's talking about? If it was Remake Part 2, I feel like these two would not be the center. Does that make sense? I guess it wouldn't be the center point of what a poster, if he's sending a picture. I feel like maybe it would be something else besides like these two characters, right? By having these two, I think you are definitely referencing Crisis Core, but you could also just be referencing, because we know, well, we don't know for sure, but there's the Steam page, right? The Final Fantasy VII. It got listed, or there's a bunch of stuff that happened, I believe, 14 days ago, 15 actually today, and then yesterday the page was updated, one day before this event. So I think everybody's kind of on the same page. 7 Remake Part 1 is coming out on Steam, and maybe it's a day and date thing where they say today, hey, it's out right now, or it's out next week. It's out like next Tuesday or this upcoming Tuesday. None of that stuff would surprise me, right? But remember, we're going to get a lot of stuff in these 10 minutes. Now, the one thing I will say, right, whether this is Crisis Core or it's Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 1, either way, I wonder about Part 2. It's something that I've been very vocal on. It's something that I want to see. And it doesn't really matter if it's PlayStation exclusive, if it's anything exclusive. I just kind of want to know. Well, we know they're making it, but I just want to see, how close are we? Not that necessarily we can get that, but I want to kind of see. All right, that's the one big downfall that I've been, again, very vocal on with this remake structure. I know people obviously have problems with the changes of the story that they made, but one problem for me, and I get it, I understand it, it's just annoying in a way, where it's like, well, if you're going to tell the full story of Final Fantasy VII again, and you're going to, inject some different stuff, but if it's going to take you like 8 to 10 years from start to finish, right? Like from we get Part 1 to say Part 3, if it's going to take like 8, 9, 10 years between those, that's a long time to tell one game story as a remake. Now, because of the game it is, and because of what they're trying to do, it's not like they're skimping. There's a lot of content in Part 1, right? But it's, so again, like, I understand it. I understand, like, if they wanted to make a 300-hour game, maybe it would take 10 years, and then we could get it all at one time, but that would be pretty weird. So I get it. It's just, I want to see Part 2. I want it to, I would love it to come out next year. At this point, though, I'm thinking probably, well, because Final Fantasy 16 doesn't come out till next summer, so I don't think 7 Part 2 is coming out till at least next fall, and that's wishful thinking. So we'll see what happens, but you let me know in the comments, what do you guys think? Do you think this is Crisis Core, or do you think this is something Final Fantasy VII Remake related? Let me know. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on so you know when all these videos go up. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video.